What is happening, everybody? So, a question that's been coming up quite a bit in conversation with myself and some friends has been, God, now that the 2018 Mustang has been released, am I considering trading in the SRT for a Mustang GT with the 10-speed automatic, considering how much time I spend on a drag strip? And yeah, I can make a pretty compelling argument that that might not necessarily be a bad idea. So let's look at this from a mechanical standpoint. First of all, the new Mustang is a little underrated at 460 horsepower. The reality is that engine is probably sitting more near 475 or a little bit more, depending on whose dyno you want to believe. But the drag strip results are proving that those numbers are true. The car so far in very good conditions on a very well prepped track, and I want to make sure that that's clear, but on a stock tire that's a Michelin Pilot, which is a little stickier than your normal street tire, but it still went a 12.0 at almost 117 miles per hour. The car is making power, so stock for stock, it's much quicker than the Challenger, but you put the both of them on a drag radial, it's going to mitigate that difference quite a bit, but it's in the ballpark. In fact, let's call them dead even. Let's say that for some reason, both of those cars run an 11.9 from the factory, which they are both clearly capable of. The Challenger's proven it time and time again. Okay then. So if that is the only difference, then it doesn't make much of a reason to go ahead with the trade. But then there's some other factors to consider. First of all, the 10-speed automatic in that Mustang is really what makes the difference. I feel that if that 10-speed automatic were in the outgoing Coyote platform, it would probably shave at least a couple of tenths off of the time of that car. The 10-speed automatic is perfect for the Mustang because it keeps it always in the upper RPM. That's where that engine sings. It is a perfect example of an engine that when it comes on strong on the top end, you've got to keep it there because that's where all the power is being made. Well, with 10 speeds at your disposal, that keeps the engine in the power band all the way down the drag strip. Pretty well engineered piece. And in terms of durability, well, it's already proven itself, at least for the most part, as far as I can tell, to work just fine behind the ZL1. It's the same transmission. So there's that. They're also putting it behind the EcoBoost in the trucks. And I did get a chance to drive that vehicle. And although it felt a little weird with the constant shifting on the upshifts, man, I gotta tell you, truck was quick, so it works. And so, you know, any issues with durability, I think, are kind of thrown out the window at that point. And let's keep talking about durability for a minute. You know, that Coyote platform is renowned for being all but bomb-proof in naturally aspirated form. And even under low boost, it seems to hold up fine. Well, you couple that durability, when you compare it at least, let me stop for a second, the Hemi is a known problem, or at least has some known problems. The first of which are lifters. If you've got an MDS-equipped Hemi, the chances of those lifters failing is, well, at least in past years, an almost guarantee. In fact, my truck has the 5.7 Hemi. It's a 14, and I just got it back not long ago from having all the lifters replaced. It was done under warranty, so good on Dodge for standing by the product, but still, that's a little unnerving. You don't have that kind of problem with an engine with overhead cams. There's no lifters to fail. You can sing that thing as high as you want. It's not going to ever bend a push rod either, which is another known potential problem with the Hemis if you're turning them at higher RPM. Now, with my car, I'm not spinning it that high. In fact, my car really won't ever go above 6,300 RPM. It just doesn't need to. But the fact of the matter is if you do want to drive it any harder, you're looking at valve train issues. valve train stability. Again, it's a problem that the Mustang doesn't have, and it's a huge factor in making that engine as durable as it is. In fact, I can't think of any failures that I've heard of from guys running the car naturally aspirated ever. They just keep going and going. It's like a sewing machine. So if you look at it from that standpoint, it really does make sense, since I do spend so much time at a drag strip, to look to a platform that's going to put me in the best position, to have fun long term. A lot of guys will say, well, I want to win. I want to win. Listen, I'm happy to be competing, and I'm happier when I'm competitive. And, well, let's face it, the new Mustang, assuming that it takes to modifications a third as well as the outgoing Coyote platform, of course it's yet to be seen, but if it does, you're going to be looking at Mustangs that don't cost, I don't know, maybe $6,000, $7,000 less than a Scat Pack, that are going to be able to run out there and drop, I don't know, maybe an 1170 with just some very mild modifications and a drag radial. That is huge, because now you're talking about a car that will run with the quickest of the modern American muscle cars, and will do so more or less indefinitely, provided that it's maintained properly. So, there's quite a bit to mull through here. Now, looking at it from a different standpoint, look, I came to Mopar, or let me rephrase that. I came back to Mopar from Ford. Mopar abandoned its core enthusiasts long ago, and really, they didn't offer anything for the enthusiast until 2008. Well, in 2008, when the Challenger was released, a lot of the Mopar guys that had gone to Ford and had gone to Chevrolet, because, again, Mopar offered up nothing for the better part of 3 decades, well, they did gravitate towards that car because it was now a Mopar of their own, and for some kids, it was now a Mopar for their own era. But the problem is that it's been around now, and it's for 11 years. This will be its 11th year of production with very minor upgrades. We're talking one engine improvement going from the 6.1 to the 6.4, and one transmission improvement. That's not enough nowadays. I mean, the Mustang has only been out since 2015, and it's already received a significant upgrade. I mean, this is 4 years into production, and it's already getting a major bump in power and a major transmission improvement. Now, yes, I understand that the Challenger was first to the table with those types of improvements, talking about the 6.1 over the 6.4. And with the 8-speed automatic transmission, which admittedly makes a massive difference for that car. But at this point, something else has to be done. But if it stays the same and Mopar, I don't know, did more to support the grassroots enthusiast, I would probably be on board. And if it weren't for my loyalty to Mopar at this point, I may have already jumped ship. And that's a bit of a problem here, because a lot of the guys that had come from Mopar come from Chevrolet and come from Ford and have been playing with their Mopars for the last, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 years, are now wanting more. I mean, you cannot leave a motivated and enthusiastic buying segment wanting, especially with enthusiasts. I mean, enthusiasts are pretty fickle. They love to work on their cars, and if they don't have the means to do so, they'll find a manufacturer that does. And Ford does it in spades. Have you ever looked at a Ford Racing Performance Parts catalog? Go online and check it out. You can practically build another car out of that catalog. And it gives tech data. It gives specifications for camshafts. It gives all types of helpful tips and tricks. There is nothing from Mopar that even comes close. In fact, it is a joke. It's so bad that they shouldn't even have the website up, because it offers nothing that their competitors offer, in terms of technical support or specifications or anything like that. Not only does it not offer that, it doesn't even offer decent amount of parts to support the racers that they're marketing their cars towards. Brotherhood of muscle. Get out of here with that. You're not supporting the brotherhood. It's kind of a shitty family member to have around. You're going to sit around and tout how nostalgic you are and all the things that you've done for getting direct connection altogether. And yeah, I understand they've got some scat packages for the 5.7 liter. Great for the 5.7 liter guys. Where the hell is anything for the 392 guys? We're the ones that are going out and have been kicking the crap out of Mustangs and quite a few Camaros, by the way, at the drag strip. Now all of a sudden, the Demon comes out and that's the new darling. And sure, you've got the TA for the Challenger and yeah, great. But that doesn't do anything in terms of putting parts from Mopar on our cars. Again, Ford Racing's got them smoked. So, in saying all of that, and being a bit bitter that Mopar is still grabbing all over that nostalgic, trying to pull at Mopar guys' heartstrings, it's almost like it's getting a little bit old. It's certainly getting tired, especially when there's no substance to back up all the talk. But, all of that being said, not going to be getting rid of my Challenger anytime soon. I know it seems a little bit counterintuitive, especially, again, coming from, a Ford background. But, man, Mopar finally, in my opinion anyway, got it right. And with all of its flaws and some of its shortcomings, it's still the car that I want. It's still the car that I would buy again, which is about as high a praise as you can give anything in this business. So, I know it's a long way to answer the question, but I'm going to have to be overwhelmed by the performance of that Mustang to even really consider making that switch. And especially considering since the Challenger is soon to be on its way out, nobody really knows at this point what is going to take its place. There's plenty of rumors out there, but I can tell you this, whatever it is that is going to take the Challenger's place, as far as, the next generation or the next lineup, it can never recreate the actual magic that that car brought to the marketplace back in 2008 with that awesome retro styling, that big Hemi engine rumbling underneath the hood, and the spirit of Mopar that it brought back. So there's the answer to that question, but I would love to hear from you guys. Post up your comments and let me know if you're thinking about making the change yourself. I'd love to hear what kind of thoughts have been going through your mind and if you've decided to pull the trigger yet. And that's a wrap on this one. Y'all have a great one. Adios.